you're the former co-host of the Dale Jr. Download, and you asked me some great questions. Why did you remove you are your own boss, you and Dale Jr. boss each other around. Why did you leave being the co-host?
It was time. It was time. I wasn't enjoying it as much. I felt like the show needed to change, and I felt like I just felt like it was time. I mean, sometimes you just kind of have that instinct that like, oh, wait a second. I mean, as much as sometimes you have to really self-reflect, right? And I'm maybe you've probably done this, like when you go, okay, I want to stop. I don't want to try keeping this NASCAR thing going. Like, at some point you had to have a conversation with, you had a Kenny conversation with yourself, right?
I left Charlotte. I got the hell out of there.
Right. And so I just, listen, it's Dale's show. Okay. Not a single day did I ever go into that thinking anything other than it's Dale's show. It's Dale's show. It's Dale's show. I wanted to devote the time that it was taking to be on the show. I wanted to channel that into the company. And so I was, let me see how to say this. I was starting to hold a bit of a grudge, not at anybody in particular, but just at the situation that I wasn't being able to really kind of put my efforts and energy and thoughts into the company and starting new shows and doing those things and still doing the download. The download was a commitment. Now it's a commitment, and it still is a commitment. And I just felt like it was time for me to take some of that time back and put it into the company. I also had a bit of, again, I was taking exception. I wouldn't say it made me angry. I don't say anything like that, but my identity, my value is on what the future of the company is. But I didn't love the fact that my identity, people would think that I'm just here to be a co-host on the Dale Jr. Download. Like I don't know what that was. That was something that I was having to really kind of wrestle with. And because I have bigger plans, right? Like my vision for this was not going to be relegated to the Dale Jr. Download only. The Dale Jr. Download is a huge piece of it. But the fact of the matter is it's a huge piece of it, but it's Dale's show. And I need that to keep going because it's still, there's a lot. I still think there's a lot to still do. There's still a lot of healing. There's still a lot of conversations that need to be had there. We got a lot of people that we want on the show. But I just didn't think it needed me anymore. And so I told Dale midway through last year, like June-ish, July, that this was kind of going to like, I'll finish out this year. But like I really was looking forward to spending time with my partners out in LA, spending time with people that are, helping me build the company. And that's what I really get excited about. That's when I'm in my happy place. That's my driver's seat. It's not in front of a camera, frankly. You and I had this conversation when you asked me to be on this. It's like, I'm not comfortable necessarily being in front of camera. So people would think that that's hard to believe. In fact, a lot of people that sit there and think that I was on the download for myself couldn't have it more wrong. But like, I'm not most comfortable in that situation. I like the company and the vision and the mission that we have. I like and I like coming up with new ideas. What excites me and what fulfills me is, the building of the shows and what you and I are doing together. Like, that's what I get excited about. Like, building that show out, being able to tell those stories, getting into your brain and getting into Schrader's brain. Like, that's where I'm really in my happiest. And so I don't know, that's a long answer to kind of like why I made the decision to leave the download. But again, as you know, I haven't left the download at all. I'm still producing the download. I'm as involved and it's as important to me as it ever was. And I'm just not in front of the camera anymore.